Hi guys, I'm going to talk you through a little mini class today. So this is the kind of thing that we would do in a regular class. I will give you some easier options, some harder options, but we're going to actually start off from a standing position to go through our mobility work and to just warm the body up a little bit first. So if you just want to stand with your feet about hip width apart, spread your toes out and just trying to feel that you're pressing from the ball of the big toe through to the ball of the little toe, and then getting the balance of the body weight even from the heel to the front of the foot, so we're not kind of leaning back or leaning left or right. We're trying to just find that centre point. From here, let your arms just hang alongside the body and just notice where they are. Do they feel like they're directly alongside you, or do they feel like they're slightly forward? So we can kind of we can compare again towards the end of the class. And just start to let your shoulders hang down a little bit low and a little bit heavy. So we're drawing them away from the ears. Abdominals are gently engaged, pelvis is slightly tucked underneath, chest is lifted away from belly. And you want to feel that the crown of the head is being gently pulled up towards the ceiling. Now from here, just close your eyes for a moment. So just notice how that affects your balance to start with. You might start to feel that you're swaying or rocking a little bit. So just try and feel that centre of gravity again. Imagine the tailbone is dropping straight to the floor. Start to notice what your breathing is doing. And we're just going to take a few really easy, deep breaths. So we want to feel that we're drawing the breath away from the upper body down into the abdomen, the rib cage. So start to think about completely filling your lungs as you breathe in. Feel the belly expand, feel the ribs expand. Pausing for a moment and then completely empty the lungs as you breathe out. You can breathe through the nose or the mouth at this point, whatever feels comfortable. Okay, be aware of where you can feel the movement of the breath. I'm just trying to feel that each breath is getting a little bigger, a little deeper than the one before. Okay, now start to open your eyes, just take your gaze soft forwards and down maybe, and just gently rock the weight from heel to toe. So just notice how that feels on your balance. Okay, and then we're going to rock the weight from left to right, so we're just very gently shifting the weight from one side to the other. And we're trying to find that centre point again, so we want to feel that we've got our body weight balance right in the middle. Okay, once you feel that you've got that, relax your legs, shake your arms loose. Just find your neutral neck position, so your cheekbones feel like they're roughly lined up above your collarbones, and we're just going to work through our flexion to extension. So moving as far as you can comfortably go, being aware of where you're feeling this. Obviously we're going to feel it in the neck, but where else are you feeling it? You might feel it all the way down the spine. You might be feeling this across your chest, your shoulders, even down your arms. Amazing how much impact, one area can affect the next area. We're one big connected chain, so everything affects everything else, particularly those surrounding areas. Now come back to your neutral, and we're going to gently rotate, so we're just turning as far as you can comfortably go from left to right. Keep the chin slightly lifted. Breath is just easy here, so you can breathe however you want. If you want to do a specific style of breathing, Ujjayi breath for example, as long as you're not holding your breath, that's good. Okay, come back to neutral, start to lean, ear to shoulder, left and right. Clicking, creaking, crunching, it's absolutely fine as long as it's not painful, so don't be alarmed if you can feel some clicks and creaks. Okay, now just squeeze your shoulder blades slightly back and let your shoulders shrug down. And we're going to let the head drop, so we're kind of taking the chin towards the chest and just move across slowly. Keeping the chin close to the body if you can, if that's comfortable. But remember, we're just warming up, we're just mobilising. So we're not trying to force any of these movements, we're not trying to gain massive range of movement just yet, we're just trying to find out where we are. Okay, come back to your neutral position, roll your shoulders, start to circle them. Okay, and then just make these movements a little bigger now, so we're drawing the elbows up and around. Okay, we're we're going to go one shoulder at a time. And then come forward, so we're kind of coming forwards and then start to come across the body. So we're just lifting our shoulder blades behind us slightly as well now. Just trying to get a slightly bigger movement. Now let the shoulders roll back, just let your arms hang. Arms are heavy again, and we're going to stretch the neck. So we drop the head, point the nose towards the armpit, hold the stretch, feel your head become heavy. 2 or 3 big easy breaths. Okay, changing sides. Okay, come back to centre, start to loosen out your wrists, your hands. I'm going to just get a little bit closer to the camera now so you can see what I'm doing. So we're just rolling through the wrist joints both ways. And then we're going to add the elbows. So we start to circle the arms, we kind of push them out and around. Change the direction, bring it all in towards you. Okay, and shake your arms loose. Right, moving on to our spine then. So we start with a slightly wider base now, and we're just going to tip forwards from the hips, support your back, place your hands onto the tops of your knees, just above the knee joint. And we're just literally going to do a version of cat and dog. So we just gently round, flex the back up, pull the tummy in, and then we gently drop and extend. I'm just going to keep going through that movement at a pace that feels comfortable for you. So if you want to go a little bit slower, that's absolutely fine. But start to think about creating length and distance now. So as we're flexing up, we're kind of creating distance from the nape of our neck all the way to the tailbone. As we extend out, we're trying to create distance from our sternum all the way down to our pubic bone. So we've got a really good posterior anterior tipping action going on through the pelvis as well. You're tipping out the back of your bucket as you flex and round, and then you're tipping out the front of your bucket as you extend. Okay, so just doing a couple more of these. Okay, and then squeeze your glutes, your buttock muscles, push into the feet and roll yourself back up to standing. Just roll your shoulders back, let your arms hang. Okay, so keeping that wider base now, we're going to start to just circle the hips. So just rolling the hips around. Imagine you've got a hula hoop around your pelvic girdle, and we're just trying to push the lower body around the inside of that hoop. So the upper body's going to stay fairly still to start with. We don't want too much movement through our shoulders if we can help it. But just nice, easy movement. And again, your range might be something more like this, little tiny circles, or you might be able to start really pushing the hips all the way around, and then just change the direction. So we take this, we kind of roll it both ways. Okay, keep changing the direction. Clicking in the hips is quite normal for this movement, getting a bit of mobility around our ball and socket joints of our hips. Okay, and then come back to centre. Right, so now we're going to do the same, but we're going to move shoulder girdle. So think that hoop is now around your shoulders, and we're just going to roll around gently to begin with. Now as you lean back, just squeeze your bum gently. So we're giving our lower back a little bit of support. But again, trying to feel that you're moving the upper body without including the lower body now. So nice, easy rolling circles. Change the direction. Okay, come back to centre. Right, we're going to combine those two together. So the lower body is going one direction, the upper body just goes the opposite direction. So it's just a nice, easy rolling action. Still squeezing the bum as you lean your shoulders back. I'll show you from a couple of different angles here. So we're rolling the hips and rolling the shoulders together. Okay, change direction. So we're taking it around both ways. Make it as big as you're comfortable with. Okay, and then come back to your centre point. Right, keep your feet a good width apart, good shoulder width base. Arms are going to come alongside now, drawing them slightly back, so kind of open and lift the chest, let them hang. We're just going to very gently glide or slide down the legs. So a bit of lateral flexion. So again, your range might just be a couple of inches here. That's absolutely fine. Just do what you can. If you're comfortable with it, you're going to start to really stretch and reach to the outside of the knee or the thigh. Keeping that distance between chest and belly. Trying to keep your chest forward facing so we're not kind of turning or rotating into it. We want to feel that we're nice and even. Just lateral flexion. Weight stays even in the feet as well. You know, the tendency can sometimes be to kind of lean or tip the weight. Try and keep both feet firmly pressed. Lovely, and then come back to centre. Right, so a little bit of rotation now. We're going to start by just throwing the arms very loosely across the body, left to right. Let the head go with it, so you're starting to just turn. And if you get dizzy easily, you know, if you get motion sick or travel sick, just go slow with this. Find a focal point so you're taking your eyes onto a target. If you're comfortable with it, you can start to make the movement a little bigger. Okay, so we're trying to just wring out the body now. Nice, easy movement. Just swinging the arms, letting the momentum, the weight of the arms take you a little deeper into the twist, but keeping that tall feeling. So we rotate much easier, much safer, much more comfortably if we're in good extension, remember. So try not to let your back slump here. We want to really feel that we're upright. Okay, and then if it's comfortable, we're going to add a little bit more range into this. So we're going to start to pivot onto the ball of the foot. So one leg is going to roll in. And you can really go for this movement. Okay, coming back to centre. Relax your shoulders. Right, stepping your weight into one leg then. We're just going to work on our ankle and knee joints. Now if you're not great with balance, feel free to grab yourself a chair or hold on to the wall and just shift your weight into one leg, a little softness in the standing knee. Your other leg's going to come up, we're just going to move your foot, your ankle. So we're rolling the foot, circling it both directions. Move it forwards and back, so we're pointing and flexing the foot. Okay, now we're going to start to work the knee, so we just bend and extend, but we're doing some with our toes pointed away and some with our heel pushing away. And again, your range might be more down here, that's fine. Just do a few more of those. If you need your arms for balance, that's fine as well. Okay, change in legs, so shift the weight across. Take your time. When you feel comfortable, you're going to lift the other leg off the ground and just start to work on your ankle. So just rolling, circling both ways. Pointing and flexing, forwards and back. Okay, and then just bend and extend the knee. Toes pointed, and then heel pushed. So all that does, it just changes the tension in the shins, the lower legs, the calf muscles. Okay, lovely. Back to your original position. So feet hip width apart. So we're just going to do a little bit more balance work now. So I want you to start rocking the weight forwards and back again, but you're going to come up a little higher. So we're rocking up onto the ball of the foot, onto tiptoes. So again, your range might literally be just barely breaking contact with your heels against the floor. That might be all you feel safe doing, that's fine. Or you might feel really comfortable coming right up onto tiptoes. So we're lifting, we're trying to feel that the spine is vertical, so we're not letting the body weight lean on us. Imagine you've got a glass of water on the top of your head, pushing up, coming coming down. And we're also trying to feel that as we rock this, that we're keeping the weight balanced between the big toe and the little toe. You know, we all favour one edge of our foot when we're walking, when we're running, etc. We all tend to either tip slightly inwards or slightly outwards. So it's a really good way of practicing just that evenness, because not only if you get that even across the ball of your foot, that's going to transfer up into your ankle joint. Your ankles will be more balanced, more centred, your knee joint, etc. So it really does start from your feet. You know, the ability to just know where your balance base is. So I don't know if you can see, but obviously that's me tipping onto my little toe edge, and that's me tipping onto my big toe edge. And you can see the effect it has even on my knee joint, rather than if I try and get that weight centred through the ball of the foot. So just being aware of that when you do any movement, any balance movement, or just even when you're just walking down the road, you know, it's a really good time to practice what your posture's doing. Okay, now just let your feet relax back down. Give your ankles a bit of a shake. Okay, we're going to come on to a bit of shoulder work. So we're going to start just with some simple circles. So take a deep breath in. Arms come up to the ceiling. Exhale, and they come. And we just tap them behind the tailbone. So we're going to inhale, bring them up. Exhale, bring them down. Opening through the chest. Notice how that feels. Okay, and then relax your arms, shrug them back. Right, so a little bit of twisting now for our arms. We're kind of wringing the shoulder joints out. So this is quite a challenging movement to do. It's a really good one to do, especially if you get a lot of tension around your shoulders or if you have any shoulder issues. So the easy version of this is to keep your arms hanging down, and we're just going to twist. Again, I'm going to get a little close to the camera so you can just see what I'm doing. So we kind of wring forwards and backwards. So we're moving both parts of the shoulders. We're obviously moving our wrist and our forearm, but we're also trying to turn that full range from the top part of the arm as well. Okay, if that's enough for you, just keep going with that. If that's okay, we're going to extend our arms out. So we now start by wringing forwards and back again, trying to feel that we're pushing our arms away from the body. But we're going to get this alternating just to kind of mix it up a little bit. So as your left hand tips down, palm comes to the floor, your right palm is going to rotate up to the ceiling. So they're kind of going in opposite directions. Again, if I get a little closer so you can see what I'm doing here. Really wringing out the shoulders. Okay, and then let your arms just hang, give them a bit of a shake. Right, a little bit of decompression on the shoulders now. So again, nice one to do. Loosen the shoulders up, engage into the abs, so we've got a bit of support for our bodies. We tip the body and we just come halfway down again. We're going to hold on to the legs with just one hand this time. And we're going to let the other arm just drop. And all you're doing, you're just going to start to circle it around. So it's like a pendulum, like it's just swinging. And you start to make that movement a little bigger, keeping your back flat to the ceiling if possible, so we're not letting our spine tip. We're trying to keep the shoulders fairly level, but just rolling this all the way out and around. Use all that space in front of you, yeah, make it as big as you can. Change the direction, come around the other way. Okay, come back to centre. We're now going to start to swing this across the body, allowing the elbow to just flex. Okay, and then come to the outside of the leg, so the palm is facing in, the back of my hand is on the outside, my thumb is leading. I'm kind of throwing the arm forwards and back. And again, your range might be something like this. If it feels okay, you can really go for this. You know, it's actually creating space around your shoulder joints, giving you that room back. Okay, hands to thighs, roll yourself up. Change your sides. So we start just by abs are engaged, tipping forwards, let the arm hang, feel the heaviness of it, and then just start to circle, coming out and around. Change the direction. Okay, start to bring it across across the body. Just keeping that moving. And take it forwards and back. Palm faces in, thumb leads. Okay, hand to thigh. Draw the tummy in, roll yourself back up to standing. Roll your shoulders back again. Right, another little shoulder stretch. So this time we're going to bring our right arm. We're going to tip it down so our back hand comes across the body. We're going to gently grab with our left hand and pull the shoulder away from our right ear. So my shoulder's being drawn down. Then I'm going to let my head just tip slightly over to the left side. So I'm getting a deeper stretch now through this area. But once I've got that, I'm going to think about pushing my shoulder to the back wall. So my shoulder blade is hugging me from behind. I'm rolling my shoulder back and I'm trying to get a little deeper now into my pectoral muscle at the front here. Okay, so a nice deep stretch. Just hold that breathing into it. Such an important muscle to stretch out. It plays havoc with our neck or shoulder, even our upper back if we've got tension in our pecs, or if they're just too short. And the reason they shorten up is, as we know, if we're in a slightly slumped position, if we're driving too much or rounded, we're sat at a desk, these muscles just shorten up. So it's very important that we keep them open. Okay, so change in side, shake your arms. Left hand, we're going to bring it across. We gently pull down, head tips away, and then we open the chest by squeezing that left shoulder blade as if it's hugging you from behind and letting your shoulder just move to the back wall. Feeling all the way through your pecs here. Just hold it and breathe 2-3 good breaths. Getting that nice deep stretch. Okay, release the arms again, roll both shoulders. Okay, take a deep breath in, arms are going to come up. Hands are going to plant into the small of the back this time. So both hands together are going to push gently into the small of the back. Your tailbone is tucked, your elbows are drawing in. But we're also trying to point our elbows towards the floor. So we don't want our shoulders to scrunch up into our neck. We want to keep them down and back if we can. So again, nice double stretch of the chest. Okay, and then just give yourself, as if you've got a big barrel in front of you or a beach ball, we're going to wrap our arms around this board. We're going to shrug our shoulders so they're low, let our head drop, and just let your upper back slightly slump. So just creating space between your mid-upper body. Okay, and then relax. Shake out your arms. So come back to your initial mountain pose, your standing base. Okay, shake out your arms, let them go heavy and loose. And just notice where they are, and hopefully they should feel like they're a little bit more here rather than here, especially if they started off in they're very much here. You should just feel that they're a little bit more alongside you. So it's just quite a nice reset for the upper body. Right, so we're going to come into a bit of a moon salutation sequence now. I'm going to add some rotation, some twists into it. I will give you some hard or easy options, but you're going to start, grab a quick drink of water if you need one. You're going to start from the front of your mat. Okay, just taking your mountain pose again, close your eyes and just take some really good big breath. So just start to feel that breath grow. Feel that you're lifting up through your pelvic floor. So especially as we exhale, we want to feel that we're drawing or engaging into the pelvic floor. We want to feel that your pelvis is neutral, it's in its upright position. Head is nice and lifted as if the crown of the head's still being pulled up towards the ceiling. Okay, and then open your eyes if you've got them closed, take a big breath in, arms are going to come all the way up. We're going to exhale and we're going to come to a forward fold. So your range might just be coming halfway, support, hands to thighs, that's absolutely fine. If you're comfortable, you can drop it all the way down to the ground. Keep the weight balanced, let the body hang here. If it's really easy, start to close that gap between body and legs. Okay, now plant the hands, soften both knees, look forwards, right foot's going to step back just to a low lunge to start with. So drop that back knee to the floor and gently rock forwards and backwards, using the hands to steady you, so we're just kind of shifting the weight. squeeze your right buttock muscle, let your hips sink forwards, take your right hand a little wider, left foot we plant firmly into it, left knee sits above the ankle, your left hand is just going to come up and rest on your left knee. Okay, so this is our base to start with. That might be enough, just hold that there, a little stretch. If you feel comfortable, we're just going to move this a little bit, so we're going to start to open and thread. So our left arm reaches up and back, and then it threads underneath. I'm just going to do a couple more of those. Remember, if your back knee is not comfortable being on the ground, do feel free to pad towels, you know, little folded up bath towels, something that can make a great cushion for the knee joint if you've got sore knees. Okay, come back to the ground. So changing legs. So in Moon Salutation, we change legs a few times in a lunge. So you've got several options, where you've got 3 options. Easy version is you're just going to step one leg back and sweep the other leg forwards. Another version is to bring the feet together into a forward fold and then step back. Or finally, if you're feeling energetic, abs are engaged, a little softness in the body, we're just going to hop it from one leg to the other. If you are doing that, just make sure that you land soft, that you don't land with anything locked out or jarring. So we've got our right leg in front now, our left leg is behind us. Drop the knee, gently rock this. Have a little fidget around, shifting the weight forwards and back. Okay, and then sink into it. So our left hand is our support, our right foot firmly plants. We squeeze the glutes. Either just hold it still if that's enough for you, or we're going to rotate and thread. Okay, come back to the ground. Right, step both feet back, round yourself up gently, so pull the tummy in, sit back to child pose now, hips go back to heels, arms are reaching forward. So we're going to come through the whole sequence, we're kind of coming through our Moon Salutation, but we're just breaking each section down. So if you're not familiar with any of these poses, then obviously just pause the video, perhaps go through them a couple of times, or just stay with the easy levels. Okay, so from our child pose, we come back up to our lunge. Our right foot's going to come through. Squeeze the glutes, sink the hips forwards. This time we're just going to come upright. So we're going to add a few little variations into these lunges. So this time we're just going to do a rotation in our lunge. So our hips are sinking forwards and down, our chest is lifted, our right arm is going to come inside that right knee. Okay, I'm lifting my rib cage and I'm going to rotate to the left side. My left arm is rolling back. Now you can either just reach back towards your left foot, so you keep that shoulder low, or if you prefer, you're going to turn, wrap around the back body. So we try and grab hold of maybe our hip or our thigh. So I'm bracing now with my right arm to go a little deeper into the twist. I'm still squeezing my left glute, sinking my hips forwards, still trying to keep my pelvis in an upright position. I don't want to overarch my lower back if possible. And just hold that breathing into it. Okay, unwind it gently, drop to the ground. So we're going to change legs, so you can either step it, you can sweep it, or you can hop. But we want to end up with our left leg in front, right leg is now down. Lift yourself up, sink, so we're nice and tall. Left hand's going to come inside, so I'm bracing to the inner thigh or the inside of my knee. So my right arm either just reaches back, I keep my right shoulder low, or I wrap. And I use both arms to try and wring myself out a little bit more. Just holding it there. Squeeze in, sink in, so I'm getting a stretch through this right hip flexor. Nice twist through my mid upper body. Okay, unwind. Drop back to the ground. So the left foot's going to step back. Abs are engaged, so I'm just going to step back to plank now. So tuck my toes. Push back through the heels, trying to get that nice slope, shoulders to hips to heels. Okay, lower to the ground. Easy version, drop your knees first, a little bit harder, tuck your elbows in, lower yourself down slow. Point the feet away, so we roll our shoulders back, we push through the heel of the hand, and we're going to come up through to our easy version first. Now again, if this is challenging enough, this is where you're going to stay, just with your modified cobra. If it's okay, hands come in, push and lift. Have a fidget around, get comfortable. Don't be afraid to reposition your hand placement, move your shoulders, wiggle your hips. The more comfortable you can get in these stretches, the more your body's going to give you that range and allow you to open up. Okay, so from here we're going to come back into child pose. So we round up, hips are going to go back to heels, arms are extending, drop the forehead. Take your time from here. Obviously child pose is an inverted pose, so we're going to come up slow, keep the gaze down. Simple kneeling pose, few options. If this is enough for you, I'm just going to move a little bit further forwards, but you should be at the back of your mats now. Arms are engaged, tail is tucked, and all you're going to do, you're just going to bring the hands into the small of the back, a little back bend. If you come to, we're going to come through camel. So we come to our kneeling up base, toes can either be tucked or pointed. Okay, really squeeze the bum, take a deep breath in. Hands either in the small of the back, lift the chest, leaning into it, or if you've got the range, you're going to reach back either for your heels, so we're here, or you're going to point the feet. If you've got really good range, you're going to place the palms of the hands on the soles of the feet, so the heel of your hand will be in contact with the heel of your foot. All levels, we want to get this slight tuck, chest is open, neck is neutral. We're just gazing up towards the ceiling. Throat should feel quite open here. So whether you're in this position, we want to keep that space all around our neck. When you're ready to come out of this, whichever level you're in, head comes up first, body comes forwards, plant the hands. So we've got our feet behind us, we're going to push back into a squat. So take your time, you might need to pause halfway. That's fine. If you can't, we're dropping all the way back. Readjust your foot position, go a little wider with your base. Plant the weight evenly through each foot, lift up through the front body, hands come to chest. Nice deep squat. Okay, take your time, tip forwards into your fold. So again, supported version, hands to thighs, or you can just drop. So you should now be at the back of your mat, just in your forward fold. Soften the knees, squeeze your glutes, come all the way back up. Big breath at the top. Drop your arms. Right, step it forwards again. So we'll go through that once more. We'll add a few bits into it, and then we'll go through it one last time with a few harder options for those of you that like a bit of a challenge. So inhale, arms come up. This time we're going to add lightning bolt. So we drop. We soften the knees. Knees and feet are about hip width apart. We start to lift the head and chest, look forwards. Easy version, hands come to thighs, we lift. So it's a high squat base. Okay, if that's too easy, or if you just want to add a little bit more intensity, we're going to reach the arms up. So imagine you've got a beach ball above the head, shoulders are low, chest is lifted, abs are engaged. We're pushing our weight behind us, so we're loading our heels and our hips. We're trying not to push the weight into the knees. Okay, drop to the ground. Right foot's going to stay back. Either full lunge, or if you need to, you can lower the back leg. Come to the inside, right hand's going to plant. This time we're going to twist. So we lift, we open left. Okay, again, if that's easy, we can wrap, pushing through our right hand. So trying to feel that you're turning the centre of your chest up towards the ceiling. You're still keeping your glutes. Left glute is pushing the hip forwards. Unwind. Changing legs. Step, sweep or jump, however you want. Hips sink low, left hand is now going to be your base. Right arm is going to open up. Okay, hold and breathe. Okay, come back to the ground, step back this time into embryo pose. So feet come back, we lower the hips, we fold the arms in. Just feel your shoulders drop away from each other. Okay, back up into your box, right foot steps through, lift into your lunge, hips tuck underneath. Just hold your lunge for a breath now. Okay, get ready to change legs. So easy version, drop into a box, step the right leg back, a little harder, step your left foot forwards, a little harder still. We're just going to hop it from one leg to the other and then wiggle that right leg away. Okay, so our next pose is going to be moving into plank. So engage, front body lifts up into back body, left foot steps back. If you find plank is a challenging pose, there is another little video on my channel that gives you loads of tips and hints on how to do a plank. Okay, lower to the ground. Squeeze the glutes, high or low cobra. Front body's going to draw in, we round up, we sit back into child pose. Okay, roll yourself up, so either kneeling position, hands come to smaller back, or you're going to come to a kneeling up position. Chest is lifted, hold it for a breath, go as far as you want, so that might be reaching back for your heels or the soles of the feet. Come out, lift the head, move forwards, push the floor away, back into your squat position. Okay, just feel the weight even through each leg. We're centered in our nice double squat base. We're going to move through our forward fold, squeeze and roll up. Relax your arms. Right, last time through then. So take that breath, arms come up. Exhale, drop. Soften the knees. Sink the hips back, as if you're sitting back onto a chair. Lift the chest. Hands either come to the thighs or we extend up. If you want, we're going to clasp our hands together, push the index fingers together, draw. You can even come up onto your tiptoe base here if you wanted to. So you're just going to rock it up onto the ball of the foot. And it's that little element of balance into the pose, makes it a little bit trickier. Okay, drop. Right leg steps back. Squeeze the glutes, sink into it. Hold it for a breath. Okay, get ready to change. So deep breath in, either step, sweep, or hop it. This time, as soon as we've landed, we're going to come to a warrior. So we're going to push through, roll yourself up, arms come up to the ceiling, left hip squares forwards. Okay, drop to the ground, feet come back, sit back into child pose for a moment. Okay, push back up through your box, right foot comes through, lift, hold your low lunge. Get ready to change, so big breath in, step it, sweep it. As soon as you've changed, we're going to plant the right foot, squeeze the glutes, roll up, warrior one. Okay, exhale, drop back to the ground, step back to plank. Okay, hold in your plank position. If this is challenging enough, you're just going to hold this, drop to the floor when you're ready and have a little breather. If you're comfortable, we're going to add our side plank. So right hand's going to come centre, we're going to tip and open to our left side. So you can do your high, your stacked base, where you can lift that top leg, whatever you feel is challenging for you. Okay, changing sides. So we plant, left hand's going to come centre, we tip across, stack shoulder over wrist, really important. Hold it. Okay, face the ground, moving down through your cobra. Okay, and then round up. Now before we come up through our camel pose, we're going to add a little lateral stretch in our child pose here. So you're pushing your hips back and down. You're going to walk both of your arms over to your left side slightly. So we're pushing the hips back, but we're reaching our right arm a little further forwards. So we're trying to get a bit more of a stretch through this right side. Keep your chest squared to the floor, keep your head down. Okay, lift the head, walk across to your right. Left arm pushes forward, so left hip is pushing back. Okay, come back to centre. Slowly draw yourself up. So coming through your kneeling position, you can just hold it here if you're comfortable. So we're coming to our full camel pose, either here, heels, or you're reaching for the soles of the feet. Lift the chest, lift the ribs. Keep the back of the neck open. Okay, as you come out, lift the head first. Move your weight forwards. So I'm going to give you a little challenge in your squat. So obviously if you're still getting used to a normal squat, you're just going to hold that. If you're comfortable, you're going to shift your weight into your right leg. Keep the body upright. Arms can come forwards to help counterbalance you. Either just extend your left leg in front, or we're going to see if we can lift. So we're in our pistol pose. You can even just have the hands to chest if you prefer. Okay, change your side. So you shift the weight into your left leg. Okay, chest is lifted, so you're either just going to extend that right leg, rest it in front, or we're going to see if we can lift and hold. So we're drawing our right foot, whoops, up off the ground. Okay, come back to your squat. Forward fold. Roll yourselves all the way back up. Keep squeezing the glutes. Little back bend at the top. Shake everything out. Right, so we're just going to finish with a little bit of work on the ground. So I just want to do a couple of seated poses before we finish. See if you can get to the floor without putting your hands down. Yeah, so we want to use the hands to balance. We can have them out or forwards, but we'll try not to touch the floor with them. So you might just be able to sit, or you might need to do a little bit of this kind of thing, or you might even do it in a cross-legged position, but we just try not to use our arms too much. Right, so simple outer hip and thigh stretch. There's loads of ways to do this stretch, there's loads of variations on it, so I'm just going to show you the seated upright position. So we start by having our weight slightly forwards on the sit bones. Lift yourself up tall. Right leg is going to come in. We're going to cross it. So I'm resting my shin on my outer hip and thigh of my left leg. I'm trying to get that ankle bone, the little knobbly bit. I want that off the thigh. I don't want that to be digging in my thigh. My right knee is tipping away from me. So my right hip is slightly externally rotated. Yeah, think about twisting the top of your right hip and thigh outwards. Now for some of you this might be enough. Just holding this might be giving you a really good stretch outside of your right hip and thigh. Okay, a little bit of piriformis stretch as well. If that's the case, it's all you need to do. Just hold that, breathe into it. If it's easy, you can try leaning forwards to increase the stretch slightly. Or you're going to come up, hands come behind, lean onto the arms, tuck your upper arms in. Start to bring your left leg in. So we're drawing our right leg closer. And again, if it's still easy, we slide the hips towards the left heel and we just use the arms to close that gap. All the time I'm checking that my right ankle is comfortable. I'm trying to stay quite centered with my body weight even left and right side. So nice stretch all the way down this outer hip thigh of my right leg. Okay, just hold that for another good breath. And then when you're ready to come out, we're going to slide the hips back. Extend. Give that leg a little bit of a shake. Right, change in side. So weight starts slightly forwards on the sit bones. I'm going to step my left foot or my left shin over my right leg. And if I need to go a little further, I'm just going to tip into it. So I'm just leaning over both legs. So my left thigh is rotating outwards from my body. Okay, if I wanted to go further still, or if I just prefer this variation, sometimes it's just the compression factor. You might not like the feeling of being squashed if you're moving forwards. We're going to lift the chest, lift the ribs. So we slide that right leg up, hips go to heel, and I'm going to use my hands to walk my body and legs towards each other. Okay, sliding the hips back, extend the legs out, give them a little shake, just bounce them loose. Right, so I'm going to finish this with a little wide leg fold. If you've got access to a wall, if you've got a wall nearby you or a door or something, or even just a sofa or a chair, something that you can put your legs up. We're going to do an inverted version of this. If not, you can just do a seated wide leg fold. So we tip the weight to the front of the sit bones, toes are gently flexed up. We want to feel that our legs are rotating outwards. You can even grab the top of your thigh muscle and kind of gently twist it out. Walk the weight forwards on the sit bones, and we just start to reach the body weight forwards and down. So your range might be something like this. That's absolutely fine. You might be able to come to forearms. If you want, you can grab your ankles, your shins. You're going to start to pull the body forward. So I'm not just rolling myself to the ground. I'm trying to extend and lean forwards and down with this one. Okay, so that's your seated version. But if you have got access to a wall, checking that my radiator's not on, we're going to swing the legs up. So it's a nice little energising way of ending a session as well. I wouldn't advise doing this last thing at night because you might find that you're wide awake for a few hours. But we want to feel that we're rotating the legs slightly out, and then we're just going to let them drop outwards. So we're getting this nice easy stretch, inner thigh, groins. And from here, the benefit of doing this inverted is obviously your hands are now free, so you can add that little bit of pressure. You can gently push outwards, or you can just find the tight bits. If you've got anywhere in particular that feels a little bit tight, you can just gently place your hand there. The power of touch is amazing. It encourages the muscles to relax and let go. But just start to feel your breath become a little bigger, a little deeper. Knees are soft, ankles are soft. We've got that external rotation to our hip. Nice deep stretch all the way through the inner thighs. A little bit of hamstrings, a little bit of groin as well. Okay, now if you have got your legs elevated, you can stay here for the rest, for the relaxation. If not, you're going to slowly walk yourself back up, and you're just going to stretch your legs out and come down so you're lying flat. You're just lying flat on your back. But otherwise, we're going to bring our legs back together. Give them a little bit of a bounce. Just tip them inwards for a moment, a bit of a counter stretch. So we want to feel that our knees are rolling towards each other, just kind of releasing that tension. And then plant them so that they're parallel, so they're level. Relax your knees, relax your ankles, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Let your hands and wrists just go floppy. Have a bit of a fidget, so you want to feel that you've got even pressure through the whole of your back, shoulders, lower back. If you like, you can open your arms out. Same as if you're lying flat, arms can either be side or stretch them right back behind the body. But start to just feel the body become heavier. So my body's sinking into the ground where I've got this contact. I'm relaxing my shoulder blades. My legs are becoming heavier. Start to notice the tension melting away from your face. So your face muscles feel like they're softening. If you're not sure, just scrunch your face up for a moment and then let it drop. So keep your eyes closed, but just feel your eyelids become a little lighter. Feel your forehead soften. Let it just relax back. And we'll just take a minute, just breathing easy, but visualising every inhale, loads of oxygen coming in, lifting up your energy levels. Every exhale, all that tension, all that feeling of clenching or squeezing our muscles, we want to feel them just melt. Okay, start to wiggle your fingers and toes again, just wake them up. Open your eyes. Take a big breath in, arms are going to reach straight back behind, and you're going to gently stretch and lengthen through the upper body. So if you're lying completely flat, you can allow your lower back to arch off the ground. If you've got your legs elevated, you could just allow your front ribs to rise up slightly. So we're kind of just peeling our upper back off the floor. And then let it all sink. Drop your arms. Start to walk your legs up towards you. So you're bringing the knees up into the chest. And again, you can either just hold it there, or you can give the lower back a little bit of a massage. Tip onto your right side, take your time, especially if you've been inverted, take a little bit longer to come up. And use the hands to push yourself back up to a seated position. Okay, just sit tall. We're going to finish with a couple of big breaths. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale and release. And once more, big inhale, arms come up. And release. Brilliant, guys. Thank you very much. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. And do please send me comments. Anything that you want me to do a video on, send me little comments. I will read them all and I'll add things in as soon as I can. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.